Oops. Okay, we got some stuff going on there. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to the One True Divine Feminine and Psychic Investigations Tarot. Obviously that little thing is not wanting to go away. Let's see if we can get it over here. Anyhow, thanks for joining me today. We're a site where we spread light and love and angelic vibes across the universe. We also help to solve crimes, and hopefully we're going to help to set our country into a better direction. That's really my true goal. I would like to start off with a few thoughts regarding that. We've all seen how much chaos we've had in our country since 2016. And again, my family got caught right in the middle of all that, right? And we've seen a lot of families touched and harmed by what all spilled out from police officers, that got killed at the Capitol to, lots of raids happening, lots of RICO crimes coming to light, just a lot of disasters stemming from cheating, right? And again, the point I want us all to remember right now is that we're all Americans, right? We shouldn't be where we are. None of this should happen. Now, it happened for a reason, right? And my take on it is it happened so that we could expose where we've gotten off track with the corruption and the greed and a value system that's run amok so that we can fix things. And that's the high vibe portion of Pluto and Capricorn at this stage. And I see a lot of people are jumping onto that, which I think is great. Because I think if we were honest, a lot of us would say we would like change. We would like to see things improve. We'd like to see things more loving, kind, decent in our country, right? So again, we got to start working across boundary lines. No more red and blue. Just it's a fight for decency. No more men versus women. It's just try to make life good for everybody. No more religious or spiritual, just good people, right? And now, to make the change we need, we may, and it's my opinion, we need to divide into territories. Why? Because the two-party system is literally destroying us, right? We're destroying each other. And so many hardships, so many family disasters have rolled out of this. And so I'm just going to predate what I'm saying with come to the table, right? Look at where we are. We have been at each other's throats. We see that things aren't working well, right? You want change. I want change. But we want some changes in different directions. Some things we want the same. Let's all be good adults and come to the table and sit down and talk and work things out, right? This is a beautiful country. We have so many beautiful things here, so many rights and freedoms so many people do not have. We don't want to give up on those. Now, we might have some people that, don't want that. That's okay. There can be a territory for that, right? But the key point is to come to the table. We need to fix things. We need to work something out that works for everybody. We need to drop the bitter boundaries and we need to work together because this is a fight for light versus dark. And I mean good versus evil when I say that, right? We've seen some horrific things roll out from this. And some of those, for me, are coming from some of the most unexpected directions, many of which really sadden me. And hi, Emily. I can talk to you here in a little bit. So anyhow, they sadden me, and I want our country to be fixed, right? I really want our country to come together and find a way that works for everybody. That's what's called for now. And I think, I'm on my fourth hitman. I've had kidnap plots. I've had everything possible happen to me. So I think I have the right to say we're a little bit of a mess right now, and we need to fix it. Okay. And we need to work together to do it. Wherever the filth and indecency and corruption and all that lies, we need to work together to fix where we are. That's the high vibe end of Pluto and Capricorn. And it's critical because if we don't do it, whatever seeds we plant now in the next year and a half, that's what we get for the next 248. Okay. All right. So I'm going to say it again. I've had a multitude of really wonderful Christians praying for me, helping me, lawyers, good people, Archangel Michael, other archangels I don't even know. And I know some harsh things may yet roll out. I don't know, because I don't know who the Titan is. But if they do, it's meant without malice. It's meant to clean up the universe. Okay. And that's the way it should be taken. And it could land anywhere. Let's be honest, right? Because I don't know where it's going to land. Okay. So, but I'm grateful for the prayers. I'm grateful for the help. I'm grateful for the good people. And we need to pull together, all of us, right? Our country's soul, very soul, is at risk right now. And I think it would behoove all of us to come off of the extreme edges, from the extreme left and the extreme right, to find a little bit more common ground in the middle, right? Um, I'm willing to reach out my hand to help. I think I could help modernize things for you. I'd be all for seeing less witches and warlocks, I could tell you that. All right, so thank you for the prayers, and I mean that genuinely. And there's no malice in whatever comes, and I don't know whose plate that's going to land on. And so, and in fact, it could land on my party, for all I know. All right, I'm also going to say gratitude, thanks, and loving kindness to the decent, loving Catholics who've been helping me as well. Okay, and I mean that genuinely, and I have a lot of Catholic friends. Okay, so we got to work together, and whatever needs to be fixed, I'm all about just fixing it. Whatever's got to be exposed so that it works, we got to expose it. We got to clean up where we are so that we can, see a beautiful country before us. I mean, I have visions when I was younger of things just feeling much more decent, our value system much more in line. Not all this greed and severe hatred and all this stuff. And somehow, I don't know how, but we've lost our way, right? And certainly part of the problem is the two-party system. We need to fix that, okay? All right. So that's the message, coming from me, the high priestess. Okay. And again, don't kill me for the reports that I issue forth. Okay. I don't make up the energy at all. I'm like a map reader. That's what an astrologer is. Yes, there's some level of interpretation, but I read the energy. I don't make the energy, right? So if something bothers you or startles you or makes you feel uncomfortable, then I would say just, click off, right? It's not meant to do that. It's meant to help enlighten, help to prepare for what's coming, help us to realize what spiritual lessons we have, me as well as everybody else, right? We're all in this together. We're all learning, we're all growing, and hopefully we can all see that we need positive change in our country. And when I see people out doing things, and I hear about federal marshals doing this and that and the other, I'm given hope that we're headed in a more positive direction. Why? Because I love my country. Now, some of the things that have happened to me have, made it hard for me to have faith, but I'm working on myself daily to refine that. So, and we all need to. So find your own spirit of intuition and tapping in and love. And let's bring that down to the United States of America. The whole world's watching, right? The whole world. And we need to be bigger than this. We're Americans. We're all Americans. We need to pull together. Okay? Now, I'm going to do a little bit of astrology. And I'm going to just keep doing this with different signs, right? Just to provide a very basic synopsis of things. And today I'm going to focus on kind of a brief analysis of what it means for somebody to have a Scorpio sun. Now, I want you to keep in mind that this is an extremely limited view of a person, right? Because the sun is your conscious will, but it's just one part of many parts in a person's chart. So it's only going to give you like a fraction of the answer of what's going on inside of a person. It doesn't take into account the person as a whole. It doesn't account for the angles which cause the various conversations and conflicts to happen between the planets, sometimes in a positive fashion like a trine, or maybe in an explosive fashion like a square or an opposition. Okay. Now, and nor does it take into account the other planets and what they're doing, which balances things out, or even the transits. So you're getting just like a teeny a tiny little glimpse of a person when you look only at their sun sign. Now, since I have several friends who have Scorpio sun in the 12th house, I'm going to hone in on that. But this is a general collective reading and not pertinent to any particular person in particular. Now, the more planets you have lined up in the 12th house in Scorpio, the more this will tend to ring true. And I'm just going to say hi to everybody over there. So anyhow, we're going to do the 12th house. Okay. All right. Now, let's remember, okay, each house represents sort of an area of action in your life and the types of things that could fall out. And the 12th house has a lot to do with secrets, sorrows, and self-undoing. So loss, right? Potentially, not always, but potentially. Planets tucked in the 12th like to remain cloaked, especially in regards to secrets, to hidden plots, and actions taken in the dark. Okay. And that is kind of a dark, mysterious house as well. Now, the 12th house has much to do with confinement, which is why people who have a lot of placements here tend to seek out quiet places, be it nature, churches, ashrams, spiritual retreat centers, those types of things. Of course, other kinds of confinement can come via hospitals, asylums, or jail. Okay. And suicide is an ending that some will prefer who have planets here because it's just a quiet place to leave the planet, for example. And suicide is ruled by the 12th house. And I certainly hope that doesn't happen for anyone. In fact, I want to also say how very saddened I am. Like, saddened to the quick about more secrets that are going to come out, saddened to the quick who is involved, saddened to the quick of the potential fallout from this, more than you could ever possibly know, right? I feel a loss. But again, aggravated identity theft leaves an ugly trail, right? Okay. All right. Now, and I mean that genuinely, and I want people to understand that because I know harsh things are coming for people, and it breaks my heart in a million ways. Now, in other ways, when I say bring the towers, baby, it's because I got the fourth hitman on my ass, right? So I can both feel scared as well as sorrowful. So anyhow, to understand the Scorpio personality, you need to look at the creature itself. So I have a little picture for you here. And many of you probably seen one in real life. It's armored. If it often takes on a very fierce yet protective stance. You've seen that tail coiled up and it rearing back, right? And if it perceives you have harmed it, it may sting you to death. But with it hiding in the 12th house, it will do so covertly while carefully masking the intensity of emotions and thoughts that boil underneath, because the 12th likes to cloak things in the dark. The more planets that are aligned in this house, the more secretive and hidden will be the motives, the dark emotions, the passion, and the intensity. Okay. And this is also just a little heads up for people who are working on cases as well, right? Now, Scorpio, after all, is ruled by Pluto, and we've been learning a little bit about Pluto. Pluto loves power, catharsis, and also transformation where possible, which is why I keep saying, let's use this period of time to clean up our country, right? Let's get out of the corruption, the greed, all the bad values, and use it, the high vibe end, for transformation. If a Scorpio is living in an unbalanced fashion, that same sun in the 12th house can bring out a Darth Vader side you might not have expected, just so you know. Scary things that can brew in a Scorpio-ruled 12th house include the following. not limited to, but here's a decent list. Afflictions, anxieties, blackmail, assassinations, bribery, hidden business deals, secret cabals, charitable institutions such as hospice programs. Basically, things that start to bring the ghosts out of the woodwork, right? Clandestine activities, dark crimes that are emotionally motivated, underhanded deceits, delusional thinking, and possibly one's own downfall. Okay, those are things ruled by a Scorpio 12th house. It's like the things that bring the ghosts out of the woodwork. Okay. And the reason this happens is because the 12th house swarms with secrets and potential upheaval, and also repressed emotions. Crimes like forgery and fraud are fostered here. It's also a place rife with informants, conspiracy theories, deceit, imprisonment, and karma. Misfortune often comes by way of hidden plots, foreign countries, smuggling, trials, secret societies, obsessions. You can tell this person is kind of obsessively holding what they have, or simply self-undoing. It's the house of secrets, sorrows, and self-undoing. Okay. So, just as a poised scorpion looks, kind of intimidating, right? Scorpio sun people also can have the appearance of intensity, or they could also hide things, like, hiding behind the veil a little bit, especially in the 12th house. But that intensity, whether you can see it or not, is there, whether it's hidden or not. And in the 12th, it will more likely be hidden behind a very carefully constructed shield. Okay. And what's being held under wraps is a tremendous amount of emotional intensity. Okay. Cross a Scorpio and you will get stung. They make treaties with irrevocable clauses. Okay. They're also very intuitive, especially in this house, and mysterious. And they tend to conduct affairs in cloak and dagger fashion. That's just how they are. That 12th house likes to keep things hidden and under wraps and in the dark. When they strike, they will do so with an intent to destroy. They are willful, magnetic, and have a powerful life force. Okay. Quite often, unless it's otherwise indicated in their chart, they also have mastered or cloaked their feelings and intentions. Okay. Now, what you don't see, though, is that though they have a tight control over it inside, they may actually be brewing like the storm, right? Especially in the 12th. There could be a lot of turbulence, but the mask that's presented will be carefully constructed to hide the intensity of emotions lurking beneath. Okay. Now, like all Pluto-driven things, okay, they like to have power and dominion over others. Pluto loves power, right? Now, again, with things in the 12th house, they might hide that, but in reality, they are looking to dominate, okay? And intensity is an absolute code of honor to them. And they will go to extremes to get what they want. Life to them is truly a battle, and they will sting in order to survive. Emotions will run deep in this house too. So expect things like some chaotic emotions, okay? Possibly like paranoia, mistrust, feelings of persecution, and possessiveness to emerge. And this is my, crazy feelings card, because you can see all that energy just going woo like crazy in here. Okay. So hiding pain and corrosive emotions, whether it's grief or deceit or whatever, has become an art form for these people. And like the arachnid itself, Scorpio personalities will armor themselves for protection and to hide the pain they feel running like a current through them, even if they are feeling grief. So they will try to armor all of that. Okay. Now, but just know that those emotions are brewing like a monster underneath that carefully constructed front. Okay, especially in the 12th house. Extremes, covert actions, and living life to the highest heights and the lowest depths is second nature to them. For Scorpio, likes to hide away to transmute the pain. Okay, emotional curses, or rather, I'm sorry, emotional crises will be encountered multiple times in their life, so that they can learn to overcome, right? Because sometimes they have a fierceness in going about the things that they want, right? They can have a lot of self-interest going on, and what they want most intensely. Okay. They can be very unforgiving emotionally, as well as uncompromising. So that's where you can get the self-interest coming in. And like their counterparts, they will stand their ground with their tails poised to strike. Scorpio in the 12th house would also prefer that all of this cloak and dagger emotions and plots remain hidden out of sight, right? They don't want people to see the chaos that's going on, right? They may have some wicked obsessions, wicked taboos going on, wicked plots happening, where if you could see behind what was going on, you would see this. But in the 12th house, they're going to cloak that extremely well. Okay. Even if, for example, they are going through the dark night of the soul, and the 12th house is like the home of the dark night of the soul. All right. That's just a very brief synopsis. No one in particular, just a general reading, but it gives you an idea what a 12th house Scorpio sun can be like. And I'll just say this for every Scorpio who is facing a dark night of the soul at this time. How sorry I am. And I mean this very genuinely. Okay. I sense the emotional intensity all around me. And this is my dark emotions card, right? With snakes in the swamp and murky feelings and all of that. I sense it. It saddens me a great deal. So, but if Scorpios are good at one thing, it is transmutation and transformation. Okay. So rebirth and transformation is possible even during the darkest excursions into the night. Okay. And I know this because my sister had a near-death experience, and her story was absolutely amazing. She had the experience of leaving her body, traveling, going to the great white light, and she had a conversation with God. And the conversation went like this: you aren't supposed to be here yet. You need to go back down. She didn't want to. She really didn't want to. But she was told repeatedly, yes, you have to go back down. And you need to write a book about your experience, which she never did. Shame on her. And she was also told that everything would be fine from her experience. Well, and not to worry about the ramifications. She also had the most amazing sense of all-encompassing love. All-encompassing. She said, no matter what happens to you when you get to the other side, everything is instantly healed. That message has struck with me forever, right? She had a beautiful near-death experience. And though she was paralyzed from the neck down for 3 years, because of what happened to her. She eventually regained everything and became an aerobics instructor. And so we don't end up where we're not supposed to be unless it's time. When we do end up where we are going, there is an amazing love, I believe, waiting us. And it's a healing energy beyond our wildest imaginations. And I certainly do hope that um, this isn't happening for anyone. But if it does, I wish the greatest message of love and peace and transformation that's humanly possible. Okay? Um, may may love light your way forward. Okay? Now I see people in the chat asking for readings, and it's funny because on the one hand I would like to, and on the other hand I am afraid to, right? Because I still have a lot of people who are trying to get into my energy space who have been after me. And I don't know who's who. And so, as much as I would love to do readings, right? And I really would, I don't know what to say to that at this point, Emily. I wish I could say yes. Maybe if I knew more about you, I'd consider. But I'm a little bit concerned about, I'm trying very hard to separate myself from the people who've tried to harm me. And I don't know who's who right now. So maybe you can provide more information on yourself. But at least right now, I'm probably going to have to say no. But I wish I could, right? The goal of all of this is to help people, right? That's all I've ever used it for. And also a little crime solving. And also as a warning bell, right? I'm doing the eclipses for the nations chart because I realize we're in a volatile period of time. And, if I have information I can share that helps us to navigate those difficulties well or prepare people for what could come, then I feel like that's a potential, blessing. If we can see what's coming, right? See volatility, and instead of going towards the darker volatile side, harness that energy to create positive change. So, that's kind of how I try to use things. So, but anyhow, just to anybody who's facing a dark night of the soul, God bless you. May you journey well wherever life takes you. And, again, I think we need to look so hard at, what this cycle of cheating has done to our country, to so many families, to tear people apart, and again, how much harm has come to people as a result of everything that's fallen out of this. And I think if we could look at that and say, clearly, we need to revisit our value system. We need to fix the things that are broken, right? We need to stop with the winning at any cost because we're realizing the cost is way too damn high. Way too damn high, all the way down to police officers being killed, right? And we need to come up with a system where we are not pitted one against another, right? And even though I will have to work on myself this way, right? We should be working on building bridges of understanding where it's possible. And there may be some things where we'll never, understand each other, but there's a lot more room for wiggle room, I think, than most people believe if we would just join hands and come together and talk. And that's really what we need to be doing right now. And we need to be thinking about how to reorganize our country so that we are not pitted one against each other, so that ideologically we're not at war. Maybe we can share information back and forth and smooth the edges some. And in other places, maybe things are so dramatically different and unwilling to budge that, okay, the best answer is you have what you want here, we have what we want here. Irregardless, I think getting off of the two-party system is essential. We shouldn't be putting the Mark Millies of the world at risk, the FBI, the police, to hold the elections, chaotic and cheating elections that we're into, in place, right? So, okay, we're all seeing the brokenness, not just with the elections, but with our value system, right? The extreme greed and cheating and, putting property above life. And just the thing, we have a lot of things we need to work on. We need to refine decency, right? We need to find love in our hearts as much as we can. And trust me, I'm not saying this for everybody else to hear. I'm saying it for myself too, because I got stuck in the middle of this. And it's been very chaotic and difficult. And I've had to work my way for several years through being quite angry over just having my life torn apart for no reason, right? But the answer is love. The answer is working together. The answer is peace. And to have peace, we have to get off of this two-party system. You guys might have other ideas. I'm just one person. The problem is we're not talking. We're just chugging along like we have to keep doing the same thing. And we know the same thing's broken. When we have the entire justice system fail, we have a problem, right? When we have, cops help wire your house or let the bad people in, we have a problem. So we need to find the light and love in our hearts, all for each other. We should be trying to understand each other better, me included, right? I'm working on myself every day. And boy, let me tell you, I went through when I get really worked up, I get worked up. But I had reason, but still, I'm coming down off of that, getting back to myself, which is a forgiving person and wanting peace in my life and peace in our country. So it's essential that we come together, right? And for whatever towers are coming to whoever, okay? It's not meant with malice, other than certain things can't exist in the universe, right? Certain kinds of harms can't exist. It's just too indecent. It causes too much heartache on families and on other people. So we have to clean up some stuff. And please take that tower, whoever it lands on, as it's meant, okay? Okay. And also, please know, when I do my readings, I don't make stuff up. I might add some, if I can see an example of what's going on that fits, I'll throw that in. But the energy is what the energy is, right? I don't make up the energy. I just read it. And I try to read it with as much accuracy as I can come up with, because that's what makes makes it valuable. And so if something comes out harsh and you don't like it, forgive me, right? Because I'm just reading what's there. And if it upsets you or whatever, just, don't watch. It's not meant to upset. We're in a very volatile state in our country. We need to fix where we are. We have a beautiful country. We need to pull together and we need to work this out at the table together, hand in hand, right? No more of this volatility and insanity that we're going through. Okay? All right. And to all the Scorpios, suns, God bless. And I'm going to keep doing different readings coming up as I can. I may also end up with a job here pretty soon, I hope. So we'll see. I may or may not be able to continue with this nearly as much. But anyhow, I wish everybody well. I'm a little bit afraid to engage with people unless I had somebody clearing who I'm talking to. I don't want to be giving readings to the people who are trying to kill me, just saying. That's my life. Love you all, and take good care of yourselves. All right, peace and blessings.